Good morning, doctor. Welcome back.
Good morning, Venkatesh. Nice to be back with you again.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So, our topic for today is fear of failure. And the reason why we have picked that topic is that it's one of the commonest fears we have, right? We worry about whether what we do will succeed or not, whether we will achieve our goals, whether we will make a fool of ourselves. And many of these things are obstacles to our trying to do what we need to do or acting on our duties, and one of the biggest barriers to our wellness as well. It's also the source of one of the biggest stresses we have in our lives, and that's why we picked this topic. Yes, doctor.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Over to you, doc.
Okay. Thank you, Venkatesh. Now, today's topic is a fear of failure.
Right.
And this is self explanatory. Whatever we are trying to do, there is always a lurking fear of that thing failing.
Correct.
You know. So, the fear of failure is a universal phenomenon.
Right.
And what activity you take or what uh, introductions do you do, there is always this fear of failure.
Correct.
And unless you keep your mindset okay, this
Correct.
fear will remain or will continue.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So now we have to be afraid of our efforts failing.
Correct.
That is a failure.
Correct.
And why should you be afraid, and what should you do if you are afraid?
Correct.
How to tackle the fear of failure.
Correct.
These are the various angles and aspects that we are going to look at in the
Look at
coming
in the
few
coming few
slides.
pages. Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So this, I guess, picture is basically making the point that we are carrying an unnecessary load. Literally, we are carrying this load of a fear of failure, and it sort of prevents us from doing what we would like to do. Right?
right, right. Now, there are some people who, are in the category of fearing their own failure.
Correct.
Failure is over there, and I'm a loser is the mindset that one has.
Correct.
One gets into the mindset of loser. For
Correct.
example, you know, once bitten, twice shy, we say, no?
Correct.
So you label yourself as a loser, and therefore
Correct.
you say loser,
Correct.
which there is no need at all for that. There is no need for failing particular mindset, but you
Correct.
have to tackle the mindset. So I am a
Correct.
loser mindset that one has to deal with.
Correct. Correct.
So,
And like you said, you may
yeah,
fail at something doesn't make you a loser, right? You may one thing may go wrong. That doesn't mean you are a loser, and that the moment you get into that mindset, then you are going to be negatively disposed no matter what.
right, right, very true. So this I'm a loser mindset has to be eliminated. It should be
Correct.
nipped in. If a fellow keeps saying I'm a loser 3 times, then it's high
Correct.
time you do something else. So
Correct.
repeated
Correct.
repeated failure will
Correct.
label you as a loser,
Correct.
etc.
Correct.
So hope these points make some sense to you, to the
Absolutely.
audience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Correct.
Now, here in this diagram, in this picture, you see a ghost chasing a man,
Correct.
and there is no ghost really. It's only
Correct.
an imagined ghost,
Correct.
and the fellow is running away from the reality of the so-called ghost be there. So
Right.
that will continue, and mindset has to be tackled.
Correct.
In other words, no matter what you do, your mindset has to be straightened out.
Correct. Correct.
So,
And many
therefore,
times these things look bigger than they are, right? Like this picture,
right,
it's your own fears and you are imagining them to be much larger than they really are.
right, true. Now, here is one thing. Here is a quote
Correct.
from a scholar who said, the greatest barrier to success, the greatest barrier to success is the fear of failure.
Correct.
No, 99% there are things going right or wrong or whatever. And
Correct.
that is ultimately that is going to decide your outcome.
Correct.
So greatest barrier is not somebody else uh,
Correct.
tripping you
It
over.
is you. Correct.
Yeah. I give the example of a school girl
Correct.
running a 400 meter marathon, whatever, and
Correct.
then she trips into her own toes, and then she falls, and then she loses the match,
Right.
loses the game.
Correct.
So the fear here is of the success. Again, the extension of
Correct.
what we saw just said. The greatest barrier to success is the fear of failure.
Failure.
So, any comment, Venkatesh,
No,
further?
no, absolutely. Absolutely. No, that in fact, all of this is in our mind. Our biggest obstacles are in our mind, our fear.
Right, right. Now, here is a complex mixed diagram which is talking about fear of failure
Correct.
and multiple factors that are affecting your mindset with regard to the fear of failure.
Correct.
And for example, you can have one, don't even try. Somebody will say, I'm going to fail, so why should I
Why
try?
should?
Like
Correct.
that. So
Correct.
there are errors. You'll say, you're worried about errors, I make mistakes. And what if I fail?
Correct.
What if is a big mindset failure, and
Correct.
you can bring out a statistical probability of you failing, and you can blow it up, saying
Correct.
that you know this is what is going to happen if I start trying, and I'm going to fail like
Correct.
that. So then you put in if and what other aspects, what other labels onto that.
Correct.
There you are. What if I failure?
Correct.
Any comment, Kadesh?
No, no, perfect. Perfect. And like you've said, then that becomes a self block. Then you tried for not just plan B and C, you want plan E and F, right?
Right,
So
right,
instead of focusing on plan A, you're focusing on everything else.
right. So here is one diagram or a picture in which you see a banana with the
Right.
peel open.
Correct.
And in French, there is a saying that if you want to hurt somebody, hmm, if you want somebody to fail, if you want somebody to get hurt,
Right.
then what you do is put banana peels on his way.
Right.
And he's bound to fail because he's bound to slip and skid and fall. So
Correct.
putting banana peel is a French way of it applies to all civilizations.
Cultures. Correct.
Banana is a banana, but
Correct.
putting banana peels is a very notable, rememberable kind of a failure that is lurking around the corner.
Right.
That. So many times this becomes a mindset. You imagine banana peels. There may be no
Correct.
banana peel. Like we imagined some ghost or something.
Correct.
You can imagine a banana peel.
Correct.
What if I slip and fall?
Correct.
Or what if the taxi comes and hits me when I'm crossing the road?
Correct.
So these are all manifestations of what if, and
Correct.
so forth. Any
Correct.
comments on this?
No, no, absolutely. And like you said, we imagine them. So
Yeah,
yes, there are real risks, but very often we are imagining banana peels when there are none, and then don't even want to try.
right. True. Now, this is associated with low self-esteem.
Correct.
And self-esteem is something that everyone has to have.
Correct.
Why? Because supposing you are fair skilled, you know, you say, okay, I've got a good fair skin,
Correct.
and your esteem goes up,
Correct.
and the reverse can happen. So you
Correct.
can get into low self-esteem complexities, the
Correct.
complexes, if you like.
Correct.
This is bound to affect your mental health. If
Correct.
this is happening day in and day out, for example, in the morning you have a job to do, you have to face an interview in the afternoon,
Correct.
and a fellow with poor self-esteem will not even try.
Correct.
And that repeatedly, so if it is happening, then it is a mental health issue,
Got it.
and one has to consult a psychologist or psychiatrist. But it is
Right.
common in most of us
Yeah.
in modern civilization. Yeah, comment, Venkatesh?
No, you're right. You're right. That's all I was saying. Correct. It's a very common thing. It's not like a very uncommon thing. All of us are going through this all the time.
Right, right.
You were
Once
saying,
bitten is the proverb.
correct.
Once,
Correct.
twice shy.
Correct.
Yesterday I skidded over a banana peel, and today again same thing will happen. So
Correct.
based on yesterday's experience and putting it onto today's, and in
Correct.
the process get paralyzed.
Correct.
So your low self-esteem has to come from that, and then it has to be corrected. It has to
Correct.
be mental health needs to be corrected, and through
That's what we are
improve.
talking about. Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, self-esteem has to be improved. And
Correct.
how to see, you cannot snap your fingers and say your esteem should be good.
Correct.
Uh, You have to go to the cause of why that thing is happening and so
Correct.
forth. And if it is happening repeatedly, there is this inferiority complex that comes up. A fellow who
Correct.
keeps skipping on the banana peel repeatedly,
Right.
yeah, you need help. You need professional help.
Right.
And inferiority complex is the one that it derives out of that. And the worst enemy of success is that
Correct.
inferiority complex.
Correct. No, absolutely. So I think that what we have established till now is that this is that attributing anything can go wrong. Like you said, you can have a statistical probability of anything going wrong. Won't cross the
Right,
road because car will hit me. Can't go for a walk because a tree will fall on me. But
right,
all of that and sort of associating that with oneself and sort of getting into this mindset that I am a loser or I am inadequate, that is not helpful, right? So when it is
right,
an extreme, you go to a psychologist. But as we are going to talk and have always said, the best answer is to keep doing, to keep trying.
right, 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 right. The element of insecurity is what we say. This is the same thing in different words.
Correct.
Hmm? Insecurity. Where, for example, why should somebody feel insecure in an office where he's working or in a school or wherever? Today, yesterday, a new man came and joined the school, and he is handsomer and better than me in every sense, and
Correct.
therefore, I'm insecure. You
Correct.
know, now insecurity can come in at any level, in any manner, but
Correct.
anything that sort of makes you feel not so secure, yeah,
Correct.
it can lead to all this
Correct.
fear of failure.
Correct.
And fear of failure uh, will require repeated attention, So
Correct.
if
No,
a
I think
fellow
you
is
made a very important point. Many times it is not so much even the fear of failure. You are getting obsessed with comparing, right?
right,
You
right,
could be doing well, but now suddenly you have a problem because you are comparing to somebody else. And
right,
a few sessions ago we were discussing ambition, but if you define it by comparing in an unhealthy way, you are laying the cause for insecurity.
right. Now, comparison is a good aspect that you brought out.
Correct.
The traditional story, good old story of Akbar,
Right.
Emperor.
Correct.
He was fond of drawing, making some competitions amongst his ministers. And
Correct.
one day he said, I'm going to give you a line,
Correct.
and you have to make that line shorter
Correct.
without touching it.
Correct.
All the ministers said, what nonsense. How can you make a line shorter? Hmm?
Correct.
By just doing nothing.
Correct.
So Akbar gave them one full day to work on or one full month to work on, whatever. And
Correct.
the ministers came back saying that, well, how can I make the line shorter?
Correct.
And tell us not to touch the line, not to erase the line, but
Correct.
how can I shorter?
Correct.
And came Birbal, the
Correct.
vice of Mughal emperor, whatever. He said he took a chalk and drew a line next to the earlier line and make it longer than that.
Correct.
So this by comparison shorter.
Yeah.
So this is
Yeah.
this fellow Akbar's great poetic example of how you can
Comparing.
work things by comparison.
Correct.
For
Correct.
people, in a college, in a place where somebody gets good marks and
Correct.
he's very happy at 10 o'clock in the morning that his marks are very good.
Correct.
But by afternoon, somebody else comes up and says, well, I got more marks and less marks or whatever. The comparison.
Correct.
You make it long and then you make things by comparison short.
Correct.
You know,
Correct.
anything
Correct.
comparison is the name of the game, but in a very negative sense. So
Correct.
you can get
And I
unduly.
think, yeah, this,
Yeah,
I guess before we go to this slide, which is related, I think the moment you focus on things which are not in yourself, in your control, you have started your problem, right? You can say, I
right,
want to improve my maths marks, I want to improve my performance. That is different from comparing and immediately feeling inadequate and then getting frozen and not doing your work.
right. Very true. Comparisons are odious, as some of the proverbs will
Uh,
say.
yeah, this slide you had put.
Yeah. Now, in this slide again, there are certain proverbial aspects which can be explored.
Correct.
You see a dog in the picture, and then you see two calves of two,
Two cows. Yeah.
two calves basically, and they are debating what to do with the bark. The
Correct.
doesn't like the barking, doesn't like to be barked at rather.
Correct. Naturally.
And there is this cow, there is this cattle cow, which is standing there and hoping to get something to eat, hoping to,
Correct.
or we also. So the dog keeps on barking.
Correct.
The dog keeps on barking because he sees that manga, dog in the manga, he says. He sees a manga which the dog cannot handle, cannot get it.
Yeah. The
Because
dog will neither eat nor let them eat. Correct.
yeah. So, but this will keep on barking because it will just not allow us to get on with anything the useful.
Correct.
And this is the dog in the manger attitude that we normally face.
Correct.
Anytime the dog, again, it may take some time for the dog to realize that he's barking up the wrong tree,
Correct.
but many times the dog keeps on barking.
Yeah.
And
No, and there are lessons in both sides because uh, for us, we have to sort of realize there will always be barking dogs, but we need to move on, right?
right,
And for
right,
the
right.
dog, like you said, why is he barking to protect something he can't eat?
Right, right, right. So I can't, there are stories and folk stories in this.
Correct. Correct.
For example, a fellow feels that he's very jealous of somebody,
Correct.
and the fellow says that, well, I may lose one eye, but I want you to lose both eyes.
Right. Correct.
It's a Tamil proverb. Is
Yeah.
a,
Yeah.
I may lose one eye, but I am going to make the other fellow lose both the eyes.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
So the
No, and this
interpretations.
all of this, yeah, is a very wrong way of handling your fear of failure, which is you to make yourself look better, or for you to, instead of trying to improve yourself, you are trying to put the other person down or prevent the other person. Nobody is
Right,
gaining. You are not gaining, and definitely the other person is not gaining, but neither are you gaining. Absolutely.
right.
Yeah, we have about 3 slides more, doctor.
Yeah, I think we are quite comfortable.
Yeah.
Uh, People outwardly project their innermost insecurities in life. Now,
Correct.
outwardly project. This is something that the author has put in there, but many times may or may not have this outwardly projecting behavior.
Right.
But it happens. It
Correct.
happens.
Correct.
You are insecure about somebody, whether in terms of salary or achievements or whatever,
Correct.
and you may be projecting it all the time.
Correct.
So out you're projecting your innermost insecurities.
Correct.
So the fellow remains insecure forever
Correct.
because what comparison he may get, that
Correct.
that will be it will be a result of outwardly projecting something that
He's
is
always
reflected.
focused on what he feels inadequate about, rather than, as we are going to come to in your last slide, uh, he should be focusing on his strengths. He should be focusing on what he can do. Instead, he is focusing on what he is insecure about and completely looking at everything negatively.
Right. So it's a mindset.
Correct. Correct.
So there are other aspects of this fear of comparison, fear of something going right, wrong, whatever.
Right.
Now, these will be reflected in their thinking and behavior, and it may not really be showing in a static slide where you are worried about something going wrong.
Right.
You, there are aspects which are related to the mindset or a mindset, and
Right.
this is where tribe mentality comes in.
Correct.
The crab, the crab, for example,
Correct.
has it's the same kind of a mindset when we talk of the dog in the manga.
Correct.
Yeah. And the dog in the manga is barking, knowing fully that the dog cannot eat the hay, but he keeps barking. And
Correct.
similar, that might be all these things are similar. There
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
no
absolutely. Correct.
exact replica of the kind of mindset one has. But
Correct.
these are all, by inference, things can go wrong and proverbially or otherwise also.
Correct.
So you look at the mentality,
Correct.
yeah. The mentality may or may not reflect itself in that particular manner that you have in mind. So But that is there.
Correct.
It's there in the
Basically,
behavior.
getting into this, if I can't have it, neither can you, prevents you
Right,
from looking at what can you do, which is this slide, right?
right.
Let us talk about this slide. Yes,
Well, to prevent such a mindset happening or
correct,
happening, developing, your mindset of fear of failure happening, why should that mindset be there?
correct,
That mindset is there because you haven't analyzed your strengths.
correct,
And you,
correct,
you have to analyze your mindset and then see whether in the Akbar's the story,
correct.
where do I stand and what do I gain or lose? I may not lose anything at all, uh, but then my insecurity is making me go in the wrong direction and so forth. So
Absolutely.
the SWOT is a traditional management tool is it tells you the analysis or the profile of the strength, weakness, and opportunities and threats. If you are clear about all that, then you
Correct,
need not have any fear at all. You should know how to skirt around the mindset, and then you can proceed with your objective and you proceed with your whatever you want to achieve.
correct,
So, but the problem with insecurity is that uh, you have not done your SWOT. A
correct,
fellow
correct,
who has got a lopsided worry about his behavior,
correct,
and that he has not worked on it properly,
correct.
and therefore he got insecure uh, behavioral patterns.
Correct.
So,
Correct.
so this has to be eliminated only by proper
Introspection. Yeah,
understanding of the problem
correct,
and a practical, pragmatic way of looking at your problem.
correct,
Once again, in the light of your SWOT.
correct.
And SWOT will be there in everybody's life.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the most, Richard Burton's example we give,
Correct,
Richard Burton, Cleopatra,
correct,
now they were married, of course, but then there was always this weakness because Richard Burton had this word of Democles is lagging because he thought maybe that Cleopatra's
as in,
overall
yeah, Elizabeth
better.
Taylor. Yeah,
Yeah.
Elizabeth Taylor was, yeah, correct,
So why should Richard Burton feel insecure?
correct,
Because he has not done it
correct.
properly. When people are like Hema Malini and others, like. So
No, I think you
if you
have
have
made
done your
this
analysis,
correct,
if your analysis is okay, you won't have any fear of failure.
correct.
So the fear of failure will have to be the result of imperfect analysis of oneself. And
I think the very
once he
important
knows how
point
to,
you have made this point many times, and in fact, it's been in the last few sentences, things you have said, we have actually talked about them as full sessions, right? That we should play to our strengths. But for that, you need to know your strengths, right? And then your
right,
opportunities which you choose are the ones that you are already stronger in, and you build on that. Uh,
right,
so similarly, you have to be pragmatic. I think that's what you just said, right? So play to
right.
your strengths, be pragmatic, focus on action are three simple antidotes to getting into these insecurities where you're comparing yourself only on weaknesses or only focused on the threats.
Right, right. True, very true.
And here is, like
So,
you always say,
so
mind, body, soul, the spiritual.
yeah, 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 yeah. So that brings us back to the notorious Bhagavad Gita's
Not
couplets.
notorious,
You know,
famous.
Karma
Yeah,
Deva Karste. Yeah. The this is a yes, this is a couplet that is used to be put up in various government offices.
correct,
People will say, you have to do your job properly, or else. And then he say, you may do your job properly, and then heaven, hell go to hell, whatever, or whatever. I don't care about my karma and others. As long as I am just doing my karma, I'm not worried about the outcome. It means I couldn't
correct,
care less about the outcome. See how one can perpetuate misinterpretations, and this you could see in many government offices for many long years. And then
right,
somebody said, okay, do your job and let other things go to dogs or something. But now here we have to say the same Bhagavad Gita couplet, uh, there are aspects of dealing with this situation.
correct,
How to deal with karmanyadhikarasya itself can be a session for Bhagavad Gita analysis and so forth. But Karmanyeva adhikaraste is the backbone of karma yoga.
Correct.
Karma yoga means you do your yoga, you do your karma, which is as a yoga, and then you don't worry about outcome. You keep at it, like that.
Correct.
This
No,
will
I
be a
think
good.
you have talked about this multiple times, and all of them are obvious. I mean, it's obviously the most famous shloka of Bhagavad Gita. But
Right,
the do not focus your thoughts on the outcome is actually the best thing we can do, because the outcome is quite often not in our hands. I guess to even the discussion on your sphere of concern, limit your sphere of concern to your what you can do something about, right? Uh, and finally, like the shloka says, uh, that doesn't mean you don't act. You have to act, right? There is no choice of doing no karma. You have to do your duty.
right. True, very true.
So I'll
Right.
summarize, doctor. Then.
Yeah, you summarize. Summarizing is your job.
Yeah. No, so we discussed a few aspects or specific aspects of the fear of failure, in which we really looked at why insecurities and comparisons are very often driven by us having an excessive focus or a disproportionate focus on what can go wrong, how will that appear. Many of these things are driven by, in very simple terms, the fact that we have not actually either focused on just doing what's in our hands. We have become mostly focused on comparing ourselves to others rather than on improving ourselves. And lastly, like doctor said, not having actually done a thorough assessment of our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Because if you do that properly, you can pick your battleground, right? You can pick where to fight. You can play to your strengths, to your opportunities, rather than focusing on your weaknesses. We
Right,
con-
right,
and we concluded with the shloka, which actually is one of the best guiding principles for all of us: that do your work without worrying about the outcome. And just because you're not worried about the outcome doesn't mean you don't do anything. You do, but you do with complete resignation to whatever will happen. You just do your best. Yes, doctor?
right. Very true. Correct. Good.
Thank you, doctor. Look forward to the next one.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
You
Bye.
too. Take care.